So I'm back here in the back part of our property this morning. We call this back here Jurassic Park because we haven't really touched it. It's got some big stuff growing and a lot of critters that are make kind of scary sounds sometimes. So if I take off running and just leave the camera here, you'll know why. But as you walk around back here, you see lots of trees, see lots of palm trees especially. Some of them are pretty healthy looking, and some of them are not very healthy looking. And I had about a 70-foot eucalyptus tree here fall last year during a rainstorm, and it's pretty interesting when that thing fell. You could see that the root system wasn't very deep, obviously, if it fell during a rainstorm. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about this morning. I've got something that I'm going to share with you this morning that's going to change your life. If you'll really listen to it, it'll change your life. How many of you have ever been walking through your own life, walking through your own set of circumstances that are going on in your life right now and thought, yeah, I don't really like what I'm seeing. I don't really like this situation that I'm in, and I find myself in this situation a lot. Man, I don't really understand why I'm there. Let me just tell you a really simple principle this morning, that everything that we have in life, we have because of who we are. I've shared with you one of my mentors, Earl Nightingale, and one of the things that he says is, your reward in life is in exact proportion to your contribution. So the things that you're getting out of life are 100% related to who you are and what you're giving in life. That's a sobering truth to realize if you'll really realize that, isn't it? I talked to you last week about some of the things that Jesus said that make us uncomfortable. One of the things he says that really makes me uncomfortable is that it will be done to you according to your faith. So based on how much faith you have, that's how things are going to work in life. Well, this one's true as well, that according to your giving, that's how you're going to receive. Jesus says, give and it will be, and you'll receive, for in the measure that you give, that'll be how it'll be measured back to you. And so, what are you giving? What are you contributing to this world, to this planet? I posted a great quote yesterday from Confucius that basically said, if you want to change the nation, then it starts with the heart, right? Because the heart leads to the action, and the action leads to change in your family, and the family goes to changing the world. I mean, you start with you start with the inward, you start with the roots of the tree, and that's what makes a tree better. Jesus would even say that, make a tree good, and its fruit will be good. Make a tree bad, and its fruit will be bad. What kind of tree are you making? What kind of tree are you making in your life right now? Are you making a good tree? Or are you making a bad tree? Your reward in life is an exact proportion to your contribution. So what are you giving to yourself? How are you building yourself? If I told you it would take in 6 weeks, it only takes 6 weeks, and you could completely change your life. You could get more income, you could get more love in your life, you could improve everything in your life in 6 weeks. It's all it takes is 6 weeks. What would you tell me? Well, you'd probably tell me, I don't have 6 weeks. I don't have that kind of time. And I'm here to tell you that you do. You do have 6 weeks. And let me tell you how to get there. 1 hour a day for 5 days a week. No, you don't have to do it 6 or 7 days a week. But let's say you got up 1 hour earlier 5 days a week. And you did that every week for a year. You know what that ends up being? That ends up being 6.5 40-hour work weeks extra that you have. If I told you, if you spent 6.5 weeks focusing just on you, at the end of that 6 weeks, you'd be set up to receive everything that you want in life. You'd tell me, yeah, I could see that. I could see how focusing, intensely on myself for 6.5 weeks. Well, that's what I'm telling you to do. And here's how you do it. Get up an hour earlier a day. Get up an hour earlier a day and think better thoughts. When's the last time you thought a better thought? Well, let me ask you this. When's the last time you upgraded your phone? You updated your operating system on your phone, or your operating system on your computer? I heard someone say this last week. We'll update our operating systems on our phones, on our computers, on all the technology in our lives. But when's the last time you thought a better thought? You've been thinking the same thought for 10 years. You've been thinking the same way for 10 years. You haven't upgraded one thing about your thinking other than maybe from Fox News. All right? What if you got up an hour earlier a day and just thought better? Read a book. Well, I'm not really a book reader. You know, I'm just not a reader. Well, you weren't a walker either at one point in your life, but you figured out pretty quickly that you can get more out of life walking than you can crawling. So start reading. If I told you, I'll give you $1 million if you read a book this week. I don't even care what book it is. Guess what you'd do? You'd read the book, right? Well, that's what I'm telling you. Because that's what you can get. You can get much more than that out of life. Get up an hour earlier, focus on yourself. Focus on your thinking. Make your thinking better. One of my mentors that I'm learning more and more from, Jim Rohn, said, "Don't wish things were easier. Wish you were better." Because that's what it all comes down to. You making your life better. Everything in your life, you have because of who you are. That's it. That's it. So if you want to get better things out of life, be better. And the only way you can be better is by thinking better. You got to control this, right? This is what controls everything. So think better and give yourself the self-respect to improve yourself, right? I mean, that's simple. We can do that. So that's what I want to encourage you with today is you want to get everything you want out of life, then start to change who you are. Start to change who you are. Be a better person by thinking better thoughts. That's lesson number 8. And that will definitely change your life. Have a great day today. See you next week.